guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Fitzgerald Hyundai in Clearwater, Florida, because guess what? We have this performance blue 2020 Veloster N. Let's talk a little bit of history about the Veloster before we get into this one. Veloster's been around since 2012, if you could believe that. It was the car to replace the Tiburon. Now, I know a lot of people still debate, and there's controversy saying it was the Genesis Coupe. It wasn't, because the Genesis Coupe, when it came out in 2010, they were still making the Tiburon. That's eventually when this car came out, the Veloster, in 2012. Then the Tiburon went away. Genesis Coupe continued on for a few years after that. What's fascinating is that they've taken this weird three-door hatchback and actually have brought it up to a new performance level. It went from the Veloster to the Veloster Turbo. They eventually got rid of that torsion beam rear end and put a proper multi-link rear suspension in there. And now with the Veloster N, it just takes it to the new level. This one though is a little bit different than the other ones that we have reviewed, and it actually is a value price Veloster N. The Veloster N was already a value price hot hatch. This particular one is a value priced Veloster N, and I'll talk more about that in a second. So let's go ahead, dive into this Veloster N. When you hear N is all about performance at Hyundai. I love what they did with the refresh a few years ago. Headlight design, looking sharp, not too big, not too small, full LED daytime running lamps in there. We drop down, you're gonna get a functional side air curtain. This one though, just like previous ones we reviewed, I am gonna zonk this area. There's no functionality to it, and it's meant to look like a fake vent. Now, as we come across the open grille design, this is unique styling. I know a lot of people say it was copied from Audi. Hey, imitation is the greatest form of flattery. I do love the shape of the grille. Hyundai has that particular shape. That's part of their brand identity. Just like the H logo, we have the N badge. So N is their performance branding, like STI on a Subaru. Whenever you see that badge, you're gonna have more performance. The great news is it's not just about looks, but you're actually getting more performance underneath the hood. This Veloster N performs like no other Veloster before. As we drop down, I love the red accents, especially with the performance blue. You have a little bit of a lip spoiler that kind of sticks down, and some flat silver just to kind of break it up a little bit and give it some nice definitive lines. But really great look. And if you look closely behind here, you'll see the intercooler. This is a 2-liter intercooled turbocharged engine. Looks fantastic. Now, when we go up onto the hood, back in 2012, they had these fake looking vents. They got rid of it. It's clean. I love the body lines. They kind of drop back towards the windshield and then curve and disappear. Really, really sharp, balanced looking car. There's a great proportion to it. And this car obviously is going to be a direct competitor against the Type R, against the Golf GTR. And when I say Type R, I'm talking about the Honda Civic Type R. Now, when we come around the side here, you can see that functional side air curtain. Now, I mentioned that this one, there's 2 different trims you could get with the Veloster N. This one is a non-performance package. So what that means is it's a little bit more value price. You're going to get these 18-inch specific wheels. If you go performance package, you're going to get 19-inch wheels. So 18-inch wheel still looks great. I love the machine aluminum, the gloss black all the way around, and these are wrapped in nice Michelin Super Sport tires. They give you some stick, but also some durability. You can see the red calipers as well. So very, very nice touch. And the calipers are not as performance oriented, of course, as the performance package. So at the front end of the business, you're not getting the 19-inch wheels like you would on the performance package, and the calipers are a little bit different as well. Now, with the beautiful fender, you can see the nice body lines. We come down, you're gonna get gloss black mirror caps, slim and trim on the LED turn signals, even the body, the flow to it here. You watch this design, you think it's gonna go down the side of the car. It actually curves down and goes back towards the fender. Along the bottom, you get the functional sill extension. So this is gonna help channel air down the side of the car and back towards the rear of the vehicle. You can see the pickup of another body line to kind of tie in the two from front to back. Color matched door handles. And then what's really nice is this is where the third door, and the passenger side is the third door. I really like the way they blend everything in. It's really hidden. We come to the rear, you can see that beautiful body line. Getting to the rear is probably one of my favorite cars I really, really love the tail end of the business. It's low, it's wide, and it's got a lot going on. This rear wing is one of my favorite in a long time. I like the way it's dual level like this. It's got that Formula One style third brake light. Just nice little touches like that really make the car stand out from the crowd. Even the taillight design, all LED, really has a nice flow to the way it goes into the hatch. You have your very large M badge. The one thing that you do have, actually you have a couple of them on each side, are these large fake vents. It would have been nice just to have those smooth, I think. Or how about make them functional? That'd be even cooler. But you do have nice large dual exhausts. One thing to be aware of, you cannot, these are not active, so you can't change the tone of the exhaust from quiet to louder. That's only on the performance package, but you still get that same large rear diffuser. And just like I said, very low, very wide, very unique look. Let's go ahead, pop the hood, and see what's powering this Veloster N. All right, guys, we have the hood popped. It does have a prop rod. We are gonna zonk that, but I do like the engine cover there. Very tasteful. It says turbo and that large N badging. With the non-performance package, you're actually losing some horsepower. 250 horsepower instead of 275 horsepower, but you are getting 260 pound-feet of torque, one transmission choice and one transmission choice only, 6-speed manual, so I hope you know how to dance with your twinkle toes, because if you can, 0 to 60 in this non-performance package Veloster N is still a very stout 5.5 seconds, 0 to 60, quarter mile in 14.2. MPGs, 12 in the city, 29 on the highway, and the car weighs around 3,036 pounds. Another thing you're gonna lose from the performance package, this does not have an electronic LSD, so no limited slip differential up front, because remember, this is front wheel drive, and you're also not getting the adaptive dampers at all four corners. Let's talk a little bit about value though. You are saving yourself around $2,200 going this route than if you do go the performance package Veloster N. Me personally, I would probably just spring for the extra $2,200, but everybody has different budgets and different amount of money that they want to spend, and it is nice that they offer you a choice between two different Veloster Ns. Why don't we go ahead though? Let's see. We've heard the active exhaust on the performance pack one. Let's see what this one sounds like without the performance pack active exhaust. All right, guys, we're inside the Veloster N. Every time I get into one of these and I fire it up, I love the burble and the sound coming from the exhaust and the intention of this car. It's about taking a mundane, regular Veloster and turning it into something special. I know you're probably wondering, well, Joe, you're talking about this being a value Veloster N. How much is it? MSRP on this one is $27,900. Let's see what you get for the money. Now, same thing whether you go performance package or not, you're gonna get those rock hard plastic door panels and armrests. It's all one color. I am zonking it just like I do on the other Veloster N performance pack. It does come with an Infinity sound system. I just would like some color on that door panel, maybe some soft material across the top. On the dash, I do like the way the dash is very far forward. Hard plastic though everywhere. You could see where they were able to cut some corners to save you some money because they're trying to bring you more performance. Now, the good news is you're gonna get the 8-inch iPad style screen and that little guy right there, N mode. So you get into that. This is where you have all your different performance timing and all that good stuff. You have your different drive modes, which is awesome. Sport, eco. Who wants to do eco when you're in a performance style car? And normal. My advice, stick it in sport, stay in sport. No active dampers though, remember. Here's your start stop button. I do like the way they brought the blue from outside in. It's that performance blue. It's the signature color of the N brand. You have your standard AC controls, no dual climate. You do have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and connectivity out the wazoo. 2 USBs, an aux jack, and a 12 volt. A nice little cubby for your circus peanuts. And then right here, this is what the circus is all about. This slick shifting 6-speed manual transmission. I love the blue on the shift knob, the leather, the N badge looking at me. Nice short throws. Is it as short and crisp as a Type R? No, but it's pretty freaking close. You could easily shut off your traction control. There's some fake buttons over here. I wish they would have just done a single panel, so I am gonna zonk that. 2 cup holders, your good old-fashioned e-brake, and then a nice hard rubber armrest, which is not really my favorite, but like I said, wait until we drive it. You're gonna see this frown turn upside down real quick. Open this up, you got plenty of storage space for a bag of Lay's chips in there, or maybe go Ruffles, maybe live life dangerously that way. Seats, they're seats. You have a very interesting pattern of texture, the N logo. I do like the blue stitch work. It's manual on both sides. My thing is I wish there was a little bit more bolstering, a little bit more on the side, and definitely a little bit more on the bottom. They are supportive. On a longer drive, I don't know how comfortable they would be. I would definitely need to borrow one of these for a week. You do have plenty of headroom, and take this to an autocross track with your helmet on a track day. That's really where it shines. Of course, you can't go without your performance blue seatbelts. That's a no-cost option. If you were to get these in a Porsche 911, they cost you about 900 bucks, believe it or not. That's no joke. But why don't you come over to this no joke side, the business end behind the wheel. All right, guys, business end behind the wheel. You can see the nice Veloster N badging down here that we have. All manual controls. They're trying to keep it at a certain price point. Where the money was spent was on this piece of beauty right here. I love the steering wheel. The thickness is perfect. The blue stitching, 10 and 2 notches, nicely sculpted. You have your N badge, and then you see these 2 buttons here. You have your N mode that automatically puts you into N mode, one touch. That's the wonderful thing. That's going to adjust the parameters of the engine and all that wonderful, fabulous stuff. And then, of course, you have your different drive modes that you could go into: sport, eco, and normal. Very nice touch. I'm keeping an N. The heck with sport. Go full N. Analog tach, analog speedometer. It's all backlit LED, so it looks really, really nice. Let's go ahead. We're not going to do the back seat. If you want to see the back seat, we have done a couple other Veloster N reviews. Let's go ahead and check out underneath that hatch and see how usable this hot hatch is. One of the nice touches when you go to open up your rear hatch is if you're looking for the button, they hide it perfectly right underneath this tab by the windshield wiper for the rear window. You have a good usable amount of space. It's nice and deep. Those seats are going to do the 60-40 split. So if you're doing your track day, if you're doing your autocross event, you got plenty of room to store things, bring some coolers, maybe a pop-up, something like that to fit inside the back. And you have that flexibility to where this is going to be a great daily driver. But let's get to the best part. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take this Veloster N for a spin. All right, guys, we're leaving Fitzgerald Hyundai. We're in the 2020 Hyundai Veloster N. Like I said before, I love getting behind the wheel of these any chance that I can. We have it in N mode, and what's wonderful is the seating position. Even though the seats are manual control, you can get it to a proper position to where it really suits the comfort of your body. It makes you feel confident behind the wheel. That's the one thing I love about this car, is that you do feel really, really confident from behind the wheel. That allows you to push harder if you're doing a track day or an autocross event. Now, I'm sure if you are doing a track day or an autocross event, you're probably going to spring for the 2,200 bucks. The limited slip differential would be worth its weight in gold, let alone the 25 extra horsepower and the adaptive dampers at all 4 corners. Overall, though, ride quality, this is the first time I'm not in a performance package Veloster N. So far, so good. Nothing too harsh to where it's going to kill your kidneys. But this is a direct competitor. Like I said, the Type R, the Golf GTI for sure. And it's definitely bringing a lot for the money. Now, when it comes to the infotainment system screen, don't worry, it does not stick up high. It doesn't block your view or anything like that. It's actually at a pretty good spot, to be honest with you. Where the shifter is, the lever is at a good height. Pedals are nicely spaced, but not too far apart. Remember, this does have automatic rev match downshifting, which is a nice feature to have, especially if you're not good at doing your own heel-toe downshifting. But you can see it just blips the throttle a little bit as you go from one gear to another. But great sound coming from the exhaust, even though it is not the active one. I do like the active one because you get a lot more pops and crackles and all those other nice sounds that you like to hear from your performance exhaust. But even driving slow, it's easy to drive this car. And if you're new to the manual transmission world, hey, it's a piece of cake. It's got a good pickup point, nice smooth on that clutch lever action. You do have a gear indicator. That's kind of small, but at least it's there. It's all the way in the upper left-hand corner. That's always a nice extra thing to have as well. All right, guys, pulling away from the stop sign, easy peasy, like I said, with the clutch. First gear into second. I'm gonna roll on. Remember, this one has 250 horsepower on throttle. You're still getting a few pops there. Nice smooth action. I definitely can feel the 25 horsepower less, especially right in that mid sweet spot as the RPMs are climbing, going past 4,000 RPM into 5 and 6. I definitely can feel the 25 less horsepower. Also, I've noticed as you turn up the wick and the road gets a little bumpy, you are going to start to get some bounce there. Now, I don't think the bounce is going to be unsettling for the car. The car feels very planted, but it is going to be a little bit stiffer of a ride. So one thing to be aware of, if you're going to have this as your daily driver, you don't have the opportunity in this particular Veloster N to soften the suspension at all, but you're still getting some great sound coming from the back. I was able to get it to pop a little. Trust me, with the performance package one, it pops way more, and the pops are louder. And for me, that's part of the whole driving experience. That's why you get a car like this. But turn-in is very crisp, very fast. There's a nice weight to the steering wheel as well. And overall, I mean, it's interesting because you don't have to wait until 4,000, 5,000 RPM for the boost to really kick in. It really comes in at a nice lower sweet spot around 3,000 RPM, and she starts cooking. All right, guys, I want to show you this right-hand bend. This is a lot of fun. I know this turn right here. Let me change lanes real quick. Third gear. Here we go. Let's see how we handle. Look at this. Nice. That's what this car is all about. You know, you're not going to win any drag races with this. Well, you might, because I mean, 0 to 60, 5.5 seconds is nothing to laugh about. But definitely, when it comes to the twists and the turns, this thing is so planted, and she just asked for more. That's what I love about cars like these, is when they say, please go faster, I want to go faster. That's when you know you got a good one. So definitely this Veloster N, even the non-performance package one, wants you to go faster. And if you're in the right element, that's where everything just clicks. It's like you're not even thinking about what you're doing, it's just happening. And this car allows you to be in that zone. The way that the transmission is, the way that the clutch pedal, everything is, the automatic rev match downshifting. I would like a little bit shorter throw in the gearbox, but other than that, it shifts very nicely. And remember, this is their first performance model here in the United States, an N performance model. Now over in Europe, they don't get the Veloster N. They have the what's called i30N, which is basically an Elantra GT, the hatchback. I would like to get one of those over here, but this really is a lot of fun to drive. Visibility out that back window, I'm telling you, they did a great job. It actually has more visibility than you think. You could see more for sure. Side mirrors are wonderful. Even out the front windshield, it's a piece of cake, and you'll be able to hit your marks at a track day like your Mario Andretti. All right, guys, little acceleration test, slow roll, second gear on throttle. Third, love the pops. On the brakes, downshift in a second. Wonderful, look at this. This is awesome. I'm telling you right now, this car is a ton of fun. Look at this, leaving in third gear into this right sweeper. Nice and balanced, very composed, super smooth. Look at this, this is great. Wow, that third gear is nice. When you're right at 5,000 RPM, you leave it there, and she's just going back and forth all day long, and you're loving it. I'm telling you that right now. Nice automatic rev match downshifting, and a lot of times, certain manufacturers could get that all wrong. Hyundai got it right the first time out, and that's what's super awesome about this car. Well, one of the many super duper things that are awesome about this car, I tell you, it makes me really want one. It really, really does. That's what this car does to you. It's such a wonderful, fun car to drive. All right, guys, one last time for you. Definitely one last time for me in this Veloster N. Second gear. into third. I love this sound. It's got this Formula One style shift light across the top. Into fourth. On the brakes, third. Second. Look at this. Look at this. Watch this. This is wonderful. Very nicely done. It is asking for that limited slip differential though. You definitely can feel it under that hard braking and trying to get acceleration through, but really smooth through this right-hand bend. Nice, look at that, wonderful. Awesome, awesome, awesome experience in this Veloster N. So glad I could share with you guys. We're gonna go ahead, get back to Fitzgerald Hyundai, but definitely if you want a value price Veloster N, you can save yourself a little bit more than $2,000 and go this route, and you can still have a blast, or spend the $2,000 more and go all out. Whatever way they give you the options, which is wonderful. But we're gonna wrap this up. I'll see you back at Fitzgerald Hyundai in a split second. All right, guys, been another wonderful day here at Fitzgerald Hyundai in Clearwater, Florida. Gotta definitely thank Rob and the rest of the crew. What can I say? Is this a value priced hot hatch? 100%. If you don't want to spend the 37 grand on a Type R, or maybe you just don't even like the Type R and you really have fallen in love with this Veloster N, it's nice to have the two options. In the end, I would personally spend the $2,200 more and get all the performance goodies, including 25 extra horsepower. But hey, it's nice to have options. But if it's cars like these that you want to keep seeing on the channel, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Ladies Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Ladies Rise merch. Got to give it up to Big Guns McGee, Tom Moschner, working the heat out here, working the fun with the Veloster N. Thank you for your work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.